Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Business Conversations with Tadiwa. Today, we're going to be interviewing Mr. Lesley Marange. He is the owner, CEO, and founder of Glytime Foods. So, let's do this. So, Mr. Marange, thanks for joining us on the channel. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having me. Thanks so much.
So, Mr. Marange, for those who don't know who you are and who would like to know you a bit better, can you give us a brief background of who you are and what it is that you do?
Okay. My name is Lesley Marange, and I'm the CEO of Glytime Foods. Glytime Foods is a health food manufacturing business based in Zimbabwe, Harare. It was established in 2018, February 2018. As a background, I'm 32 years old. I've got a first degree in food science and technology, which I completed in 2013 from Chinua University. And I also have a master's in a MBA in strategic management from the National University of Science and Technology. I worked for about 6 years in one of the local food manufacturing companies as a laboratory technologist, as a process manager, as a production manager, and as a product development manager.
So, Mr. Marange, on this channel, I believe that people should identify problems in society, in the country, anywhere around them, and then find a solution to fix that problem. That's how you make money. But a lot of us young people who are into business, we don't do it that way. We first find a solution, then we create a problem for it, or we just find ourselves in business, and we don't grow those businesses because we don't have a particular problem that we're solving. But in your opinion, what problem is Glytime Foods solving, especially here in our society, in this country of ours?
So for us, we have got social problems that we are trying to resolve. We have got also technical problems that we are trying to resolve. We have also economic problems that we are trying to resolve. So if you look at the social aspect, by the fact that unemployment is very high in Zimbabwe, and us coming up with an entity that employs young people, that gives young people gainful employment, that's a social problem that we are resolving. We are helping young people to put food on the table. Not just that, we are also creating a platform for young people to innovate, because we have got brilliant people out there who are in the streets. So we are saying we are accommodating the young people with brilliant ideas to actually have a platform for them to express themselves fully. That's a social problem. If you look at the economic problem, growing up, I think the most renowned brands that we used to know of oats was Jungle Oats. We never knew of any other brand besides Jungle Oats. And we are also saying, why do we import things that we can also do ourselves? So we are correcting the import bill, the bill of the import export bill. We are correcting it. That's an economic problem that we are solving. And also on the health aspect, by us formulating health products, what we are saying is we are coming up with solutions that can help people, reduces the chance of cancer, reduces the chance of diabetes, reduce the chance of hypertension, reduce the chances of non-communicable disease. So that's another problem that we are solving. And lastly, there is a problem that has to do with losses. If you go to Mbare today, you see people are losing a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits. So we are also kind of working around, improving the value chain so that we bring value in the fruits and vegetables that we get, so that we don't lose as much as we are doing right now.
I mean, what you're saying, Mr. Marange, really makes sense. Talking about the dried foods, eating healthy, and stuff like that. But my question to you is, how did you identify your market? How did you identify the people that actually want to eat healthy, the people that actually eat those kind of food, the foods that you're talking about? Especially people that live in places like Borodale, Arundel, and these nice places. I'm not sure about your market, but I think those are the people that would understand. How did you identify them as your market?
So my market, in essence, is not geographically based, like you have mentioned. We have segmented our markets based on the need of people to become healthy. So our target markets are the health conscious. Yeah.
Yes.
So we do not differentiate our markets using geographical spaces. But you see, if you go to Mfakos, there is a gym in Mfakos.
Yes.
If you go to Kwadzana, there are gyms in Kwadzana. Even if when people don't afford to actually have a fully fledged gym, but vanotoisa zvidhina, vachitojima nezvidhina, because they are also health conscious. You wake up, you go Muna Blawai Road, people are running. In ghettos, Warren Park, everywhere, people are running because they actually understand it's high time to be health conscious. So our market is segmented. Our target market are the health conscious people. People that know and understand that they need to keep healthy, they need to live healthy, they need to stay healthy. Those are the people that we target. And no matter where you are geographically, you're surprised because she might be, or he might be in Warren Park. But if he's health conscious, he can then commit to buy the product because our products are also not very expensive. They're actually very cheap as we speak. So anyone can afford them as long as you're health conscious.
So, Mr. Marange, I want to talk about, bootstrapping. A lot of people say, I'll start my business when I have this kind of money, or if I can get this kind of loan, or if this happens. But, a lot of us, especially myself, I know for a fact I've had to bootstrap, I've had to cut costs, I have had to, walk long distances, I've had to do a lot of things. But in your case, in your business, especially in its infancy, what experiences did you have with bootstrapping especially at the beginning of your business?
Yeah, I'll be as honest as I can on this question because it actually requires an honest answer. You'd understand that at the inception of businesses, when we started in 2018.
Yeah.
So you'd see when we started, I was actually using savings from from my previous employment. I was actually using savings, but all those savings were gone because of the inflation. You use $1,000 to buy raw materials. You take something in the market, inflation hits that $1,000. It's when it comes back to you as $400-500.
Yes.
So, but how I then managed to go around it, relatives then came in to assist.
Okay.
Yes, I've relatives who came in to assist by giving us title deeds to actually go and look for financial assistance. I've got relatives who came in terms of advancing us cash so that we can actually get out of that situation. So I think the biggest thing is you need people around you who can understand your idea and who are ready to support you.
I actually think you are fortunate to actually have such kind of people around you. But there are youths that are not employed, and if they are, they don't really earn much. You've got your 23-year-old guy. He stays in Siwarasekwa. Mom is late. His dad is a security guard, and he's not earning much. The next closest relative stays in Chinoi, Arutengisa Mapero, and things are not going well for him. And even if he does get a job, he gets a job, he's earning $150. On that 150, 50 goes to rent, 20 goes to food, he needs transport. So at the end of the month, for him to say he wants to save, it's almost impossible. But what advice or what would you say to such a youth who's in such a situation and who really wants to go into business and start his own business?
Okay, so It's true. You know, I then had to understand this over a period of time, that money is followed by good ideas. You don't need money to make money, but you need a good concept and a good idea to make money. You have given me a very practical situation, a situation which is typical of most Zimbabweans. And probably most of the people don't have the ability to save. It was easy to save, but not anymore. You know how it is. Most people, you know, they are changing money. Some are selling fuel, some are selling airtime, some are selling, you know, runners, buying things from South Africa and the like. And they are just making money enough to sustain. That is understandable. So here is the solution for such a person. This is how you do it. There is what we call structuring, being able to structure, knowing where something is found, and knowing where something is supplied or where something is needed. You can actually strike a deal through structuring by actually making sure you negotiate with the one who has the product. And you also negotiate with the one who is the recipient of the product. That market linkage from the supplier to the can actually be an opportunity for you to make money without you contributing anything to that to that deal. You can actually make money by knowing where to find something. So you need to be a well-researched person and where to take that thing. At commission, of course, at 3%, at 2%. The second thing is, even if you don't have money, you can actually have money to make samples, which cost you one, because the problem is young people want to then to jump into making millions of products without understanding the concept of making one product. You are left with $5. That $5 is good enough for you to go and negotiate for a sample to be done. You can go and say and pay $1 for a sample label, you pay $1 for a sample package, you pay $1 for a sample product, and then with that sample, you then approach relevant stakeholders, people who are aligned to your vision, people who can understand you, from church, from the community, from, you know, your links. Oh, you can approach, you know, because you have something that you are holding, it becomes believable to say, no, in any, I want to do peanut butter, and this is the kind of peanut butter that I want to make. Huh? You understand the concept? So at the end of the day, what we have done, you have demystified all the problems. When you come to me with a bottle of peanut butter, I actually then understand what exactly do you want to do. And then the next question is, where can we get equipment for that to happen? How then can I then help you for you to be where you want to go? So these are critical issues that young people need to understand. Before looking for money to do a lot of investing in equipment and everything, you need to understand to create a prototype.
So, you know, a lot of businesses in Zimbabwe don't grow as much. You find that someone who has been selling phones by a certain corner is still stagnant. They're still in that corner. They haven't opened a second store or a third. They've been doing the exact same thing for the last 10 years, getting the exact same results, going home with the exact same money. But, you know, I think there's room for growth for any business. And like yourself, you know, you would like to, you know, match up with companies such as Jungle, Kellogg's, and Nestle, and so on. What would you say to people that are in similar in such spaces where they also want to grow their businesses but they don't know how?
Just to combine your current question and probably your previous question, I also want to share with you my small journey from where I started, because most of the time when we say these things, you know, ghetto, they say, you know, because these guys, they've, you know, I personally started my business when I was a tenant, and my first products were actually being made in my wife's oven. We're actually using her oven to produce. You understand? We used to have two guys. After she had finished cooking, vapedza kubika,
Production. After we have finished cooking, they then start production in that small oven. Do you understand?
Yes.
We didn't have the money. Like most of you would think, this guy is at money and everything. But what we said is, let's make the small prototypes, and went to food lovers with the samples.
Yes.
And they said, this is very nice. This is very good. You understand? I went to TM Pick and Pay with samples. This is very good. I went to Bon Marché with samples. I did not even have the capacity.
Yes.
I was actually working for my wife's kitchen. So it's very important to actually make the prototypes of what you want, because it's an expression of your ideas. It's an expression of your vision.
Yes.
Because when you have it, people can then understand how serious you are to achieve things. So in terms of growth is a combination of factors. Number one, for you to grow, you need to practice what we call proper business principles.
Yes.
The first business principle is separation of accounts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say the money for business is the same money that you need to be paying rentals, your own personal rentals with. Is the same money that you need to be buying your own personal groceries. Is the same money that you need to support your siblings from. You can only do that on the basis of profit. Mm-hmm. Because most of young people, they work, you make 300 in a month. Mm-hmm. Of 300, they are working, you have made 300 every month. You pay your rental, 150. You buy your grocery, $50. You send your mother $50. Use the other $50 for transport. And that becomes life for you. For the next 20 years, you live the same life. So how do you balance the 300? Let me work with 300, or let me come down to 200. How do you balance that 200 US dollar that you are hustling month in, month out? First thing first, you need to work on your costs. Yes. Your costs have to be minimum. How do you work on your costs? Some of you have got an opportunity to actually stop renting and go back to your mom's place and live there. Go back to your uncle's place and live there and avoid rentals. When you buy groceries, instead of using $50, you just complement what they already have. You now use $20 to buy groceries to complement. And at the same time, if you then decide to rent, there are small things that can help you reduce your costs. You have a small vegetable garden at your house. You have a small vegetable garden. Buy a few birds, 10 birds to my broiler, or birds of eggs. Keep them. They will help you with your meals. They will help you. Every day. You just keep 10 birds at your backyard. Do you understand? Yes. So these are some of the critical things that we need to understand as young people, to say, let's not start by living lavish life before we even accomplish the key things. It's not a problem for you to wear the same t-shirt for 3 months, washing that same t-shirt, saving for you to transform where you are to where you want to be. Yes. But we then get into social media syndrome, whereby we need to post very nice photos of ourselves, very nice sneakers, very nice t-shirts, you go post t-shirts. But that's the money that you should be using to save so that you can improve your life. Yes. Do you understand?
So I actually understand what you're saying. A lot of us young people, we want to have the latest iPhone. We want to have, the nicest cars. We want to be wearing the nicest clothes. You find someone who's earning $300 a month, spending $150 on alcohol, because dog fats and whatnot. But you really, in the long run, that's not sustainable, because that $50, that $150 that you're getting, you could put it towards, a prototype, like you just said, and build a business upon that. But you want to keep up with the Joneses next door. But I understand why people do it, but I think that culture needs to change. But Mr. Marange, I want to talk about scalability, being able to scale a business. A lot of people start businesses that they are not able to scale. A lot of people do get into businesses that they then can't, when they get to a certain ceiling, they can't go past that ceiling. In your business, how do you scale your business to be able to say enter markets like Botswana, South Africa, Zambia, or even the UK?
To me, growth at an international scale is one of the easiest thing that I think it is, because already we are a born global business. Within 3 years of operating, we are now exporting. So the concept of exporting varies with different markets, but already we have got outlined strategies, especially for countries around in Southern Africa. I can tell you in Europe, there are people who sell Zimbabwean products online. Those people are a market to us. We take our products, they sell our products on our behalf. We go in countries, neighboring countries, they have similar retail chains like the retail chains that we have, similar rules. So it's easy for us to get the standards that they want. We have already raised the bar in terms of product quality, in terms of pricing, in terms of, you know, the packaging of the product. We have already done what is needed for us to get into it. And you can actually see that in other markets, you actually stand out to be better than actually the brands that are in existence in that market. And often of times, we are actually confused as a European brand or as a South African brand. So there are fundamentals that we have already worked on. And now it's just an issue of implementing. If you look, our strategy in Zambia is different from our strategy in South Africa, different from our strategy in UK, different from our strategy in the USA, different from our strategy in Botswana, different from our strategy in Mozambique. So these are dynamics that we are studying. These are dynamics that we are trying to work around so that we actually get into those markets competitively. I think that's one thing that is important. So it's a growth strategy. I mean, look at the South Africans, what they've done in Southern Africa. They've created malls in Botswana. They've created malls in Zambia. They've created malls in Nigeria. They've created malls all over, you know. And in those malls, that's where they house their ShopRites. That's where they house their Debonia's Pizza. That's where they house their Nando's. That's where they house their Click. That's where they house their TMP. Do you understand? It's a strategy that the South Africans have managed to grow with. And to me, we also have a strategy that you are working around. To say, as a Zimbabwean brand, how then do we get into those markets competitively? And that's something that we are working on, and we are successfully doing it.
So, Mr. Marange, you know, at Glytime Foods, you guys are taking on companies like Nestle head on. How do you penetrate the market that is so occupied by such big players, you know, in your industry?
I'm still an underdog. There are strategies that you use as an underdog. You remember, even during the liberation struggle, I'm not much of a historian, but when our fighters saw that they do not have the capacity to fight head on with the Smith regime, they used what we call guerrilla warfare. They used the guerrilla attack, whereby they used to go in oblivion and attack and go into hiding, attack, go into hiding, attack, go into hiding. So there are several also strategies that are used by underdogs like ourselves, like followers like ourselves. We don't attack them head on. That's why you see when they put an advert on radio, they don't also put an advert on radio because Nestle has put an advert. No. My strategies are different. There are things that I can do with the resources that I have. And also, as an offender, there are things that I also do to also try and cement my position into the market. In as much as these guys have got the capacity, have got the ability, but they also have their weaknesses. One key thing that I can mention right away is the ability to quickly make decisions. Those guys are multinationals. They might need, Switzerland to approve a decision, but it needs me to approve a decision.
Yes.
I can actually take 3 minutes to approve a decision. That those big guys take 3 to 6 months. So to me, it's an advantage. So these are some of the things that you look into to say, what are the strengths? What is my strength? What are their weakness? How can I then attack? How then can I then? So these are strategic issues.
Yes.
We need to understand and get to appreciate strategic issues.
All right, guys, so that's the end of our conversation with Mr. Marange. He is the owner, founder, and CEO of Glytime Foods. Guys, you're going to have to try their foods. They're all in OK, Pick and Pay, Food World, all your supermarkets. Please try their food out. It's really, really good. I have tasted it, and it's really nice. That's the end of our interview. And if you want to get a hold of him, his information is in the description below. My social media links are in the description below also. If you have any questions that you want to ask, anything that you want to add, please mention it in the comment section. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so that we can all grow this channel and also grow together as small businesses. Until next time, adios.